The ghost you fear is actually a loved one someone else misses dearly. A little boy was playing on the railroad tracks. He didn't notice the train speeding toward him at all. Seeing this, his friend quickly shouted to tell the boy to get away. But in the next second, something strange happened. The little boy actually made it safely over to his friend's side. This scared both of them out of their wits.
Do that!
Merlin thought it must be a prank by some naughty kid, but the boy said he was waiting for his mom.
When I get lost, I should say where I am and she'll find me.
Just then, the souvenir behind the boy caught Merlin's attention. When he saw the photo, having been able to see spirits since childhood, he suddenly realized that the little boy in front of him might already be dead. When Merlin turned around again, he found that the little boy had disappeared. To figure out the weird thing that happened to him at the railroad tracks that day, when Merlin got home, he searched all the recent news online. Soon, he found the answer. It turned out that a few months earlier, an accident had occurred there. A car had collided with a train on the tracks. The mother and her young daughter narrowly escaped with their lives, but their 6-year-old son unfortunately lost his life, and that deceased boy was exactly the one Merlin had met. The reason he kept waiting there for his mom was because ghosts can't perceive the passage of time, so his memory was forever stuck on the day he died. The kind-hearted Merlin didn't want to see the poor little boy keep waiting like this forever, so he decided to help him. The next day, Merlin went back to the railroad tracks. The little ghost boy was still sitting there. He sat down gently and greeted the little boy, saying he knew where his mom was and could take him to find her. But the boy said his mom had told him to wait right where he was if he got lost.
Now look, maybe it's time to find her.
The boy thought for a moment, then agreed. The two of them walked over to Merlin's car. When the boy saw the spider charm on the rearview mirror, he excitedly said, "I have one too." Merlin praised him for having good taste, but in the next second, the boy said sadly, "Because I didn't listen, I kept asking for that spider charm," which made Mom really angry. Soon, Merlin took the boy to the bookstore where his mom worked. However, his mom wasn't there. Instead, they were told she had gone to the courthouse. Later, they waited outside the courthouse and met the boy's mom as she came out. But the boy's mom was crying bitterly. The boy thought his mom must still be mad at him. This sight made Merlin vaguely feel that it must be related to the boy's death. She was eager to find out what was really going on, so she took the boy back to her antique shop and asked her best friend to look after him for a while. Since the boy didn't know he was already dead, Merlin told her friend to pretend she could see him and play with him for a bit so she could hurry to find his mom. The reason the boy kept wandering around outside was because he had an unfinished wish. If they didn't help him find a way to communicate with his mom, he would never be able to move on to the afterlife. Merlin's friend wanted to go over and greet the boy, but she didn't know she was looking in the completely wrong direction. Just as the boy was about to speak, Merlin quickly explained that her friend was blind. This dispelled the boy's confusion. Soon, Merlin found the boy's former home using the address she had. When she met his parents, Merlin didn't beat around the bush. She told them straight up, "I met your son's spirit." But the boy's dad thought Merlin was just talking nonsense. He thought she was a liar and kicked her out. Fortunately, the boy's mom stopped him in time and politely invited her into the house. During their conversation, Merlin said to the boy's mom, "Your son's spirit has been waiting for you by the railroad tracks. He misses you so much. He doesn't know he's already dead. If you're willing, I'd like to help you talk to your son." To make the mom believe her, Merlin added a specific detail. "Your son really likes spider charms." Upon hearing this, the boy's mom looked completely shocked. But in the end, she still refused Merlin's kind offer. Although she missed her son terribly and wanted to talk to him, she didn't have the courage to face the pain in her heart again. So in the end, she chose to run away from it. With no other choice, Merlin could only leave a business card and quietly take her leave. That evening, Merlin was having dinner with her family. Suddenly, the living room TV turned on by itself. Merlin hurried over to check, and when she saw the boy on the sofa, she quickly introduced him to her husband and asked her husband to greet the boy.
Hi, Kenny.
Hi.
The next day, the boy's father went to the antique shop. He blamed Merlin, accusing her of using the dead to disturb his family just for money, because ever since she left the day before, his wife had been crying non-stop. He thought Merlin was nothing but a shameless liar with no morals. Then, he warned Merlin to stay away from his family from then on. With that, he stormed off in anger. Just then, the friend who had played with the boy before came into the shop. He told Merlin, "I'm never going to play on the railroad tracks again, because my mom said that boy doesn't exist. He's just something I made up."
Mom says he's not real. I am too. Mom says it's just in my head. You never listen to your mom. Yes, I still says you. No, you don't. You're mean and you yell at us.
Hearing this, the boy behind him retorted, and the two boys started arguing. The boy asked Merlin to prove he wasn't a ghost, but Merlin didn't know how to explain. Furious, He shattered a few light bulbs and ran out. Seeing this, Merlin hurried after him. She searched for a long time, and finally, in a corner, she found the boy looking dejected. Merlin walked over slowly.
Do you know what it means to die?
My turtle died. I woke up and he wasn't there anymore. I was looking for him and my dad had told me he died. He threw him away. I never got to say goodbye. Is that what's going to happen with me?
No.
I hardly remember that turtle. So I won't get to see them again? Mommy and Daddy and my sister?
You get a chance to say goodbye. They'll know that you love them.
But I don't want to say goodbye. Then I'll be alone. And they'll remember Mommy and Daddy.
Then asked him. The boy's words deeply hurt Merlin. Looking at the poor child, her heart ached for him. Merlin told the boy, "Your mom and dad will never forget you, and I promise, everyone will remember you." Just then, Merlin's mother-in-law suddenly appeared, interrupting their conversation. She asked Merlin what she was doing. Merlin answered absent-mindedly, but when she turned around, the boy was gone. So the two of them prepared to go home together. On their way, Merlin's mother-in-law took out a cute spider charm she had just bought at the market, and showed it to Merlin. Merlin suddenly sensed something, and when she turned around, she saw the boy standing across the street. She immediately ran over to find him, but when she got to the other side, the boy had disappeared again. The scene shifted, and by then the boy had returned to his home. He leaned close to his mom's face and apologized to her, looking wronged. In that moment, his mom seemed to feel his presence.
Are you waiting for me? I'm here. I'm home. Dad, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to leave you. Don't cry, Daddy.
Then he went to his dad's room. The boy raised his hand, wanting to wipe the tears from his dad's face. But just then, his dad stumbled, interrupting him. Then his dad silently picked up a handgun. At the same time, Merlin and her best friend were searching for the boy in the square. Just as they were feeling desperate, the boy's mom suddenly called. Merlin rushed to the boy's house right away. His mom told her that just a moment ago, she seemed to have felt her son's presence, so she asked Merlin to confirm. "Is my son really here?" Merlin walked down the hallway, and finally found the boy in the corner of a room. At that moment, the boy sadly told her, "Dad might be about to do something bad." Merlin quickly asked the boy's mom, "Where's Dad?" His mom said her husband had just gone out before she arrived. To understand the whole story behind what had happened, Merlin asked his mom about the accident. That painful memory came flooding back in an instant. The night of the accident, Mom was with her two kids, driving back from the market in a new used car. Her son kept pestering her for the spider charm in the car. At the time, Mom was on the phone with her husband, saying the car had broken down twice on the way. Her husband was furious, telling her to hurry back. But just as the car was passing the railroad tracks, it broke down again. Then, a loud siren sounded nearby. Mom quickly carried her son out of the car, then went back to get her young daughter. But to her horror, as soon as she crossed the tracks, she turned around and realized her son was gone. It turned out he had run back to the car to get the spider charm. By then, the speeding train was already bearing down on them. Mom screamed in terror, but it was already too late. After learning the full story of what happened, Merlin guessed that the boy's dad must have gone to take revenge on the car dealer. The scene shifted again.
Daddy, let's go home, okay?
And by then, Dad was waiting outside the unethical car dealer's house. At this point, grief had driven him to lose his senses completely. He got out of the car and started fighting with the crooked dealer. At the critical moment, Merlin and her husband arrived just in time, and pulled the two men apart by force. But then Dad suddenly pulled out a handgun. Merlin rushed forward to stop him, and passed on the words the boy had told her. You once taught him to ball up all his bad feelings into a big ball, then kick it as hard as he could, kick it all the way to the moon. He hopes you can do that now too. Upon hearing this, Dad finally couldn't hold back anymore. He put down the gun and burst into tears.
It's okay, Dad. It's gonna be okay.
Thanks.
The boy ran over to comfort his dad. Not long after, Merlin took the boy back home to say a final goodbye to his mom. Merlin told her, your son is going to leave soon. He always thought you were still mad at him for going back to the car. Mom hurried to say, this isn't your fault. It's all Mom's fault for not watching you closely enough. I should have made sure you weren't in the car. By this time, Mom was already sobbing uncontrollably. The boy acted like a little adult, gently patting Mom's hair with his small hand.
I want you to know that he loves you. And he doesn't blame you for anything. I love you so much, Kenny. And I don't want you to be scared. Because it is so beautiful. And Grandma will be waiting. And
Stubby?
someone named Stubby. Yes, Stubby the turtle. We'll be there.
To comfort her, as they talked, the boy saw a beam of white light in the sky. Merlin knew it was time for him to go, so she encouraged him to step into it bravely. The boy kissed Mom's cheek deeply.
Isn't he